want you to check on
YouTube.
Yeah, go to YouTube and Twitter. We might be on right now.
Okay. Yep.
We're live.
Yep, we're live. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, this is Brett from Edge. I do business development and some copywriting. And to
RJ.
the left of me, we got RJ, head of QA and support. Yeah, so let's get started. I guess the first thing we'll cover the new release.
Yeah.
Do you know what's been in the new release?
Yeah, so we got an upcoming point release next week. Hopefully next week they'll address the Bitcoin Cash issues and also the SV tokens, so you can finally split your Bitcoin Cash wallet and claim those SV coins. So quite a few things to look forward to.
And I know last week we put in bulletproofs for Monero, which helps users transact in a cheaper fashion. And let's see, what topics are we going to cover today?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the market. So it's been down, the second week in a row?
Yeah. Pretty some crypto carnage. And we were talking earlier about, we've both kind of been in the space for a while.
Yep.
And, things happen in the office, or I guess things happen in the market and people are freaking out. But, we come in every day and are working every day, and we have been for the last couple of years.
Right.
So, big drawdowns on any day it's like nothing happened in the office. We come down, we get in our huddle, we talk about what we need to do to build certain things, or what we need to do, what goals we have going forward. But it's always interesting when there's huge price increases or decreases. We definitely see the intensity pick up in the media.
Support too.
Yeah, and support. People are asking, "Oh, what's going on in the market?" And RJ and I aren't market experts or professionals, but even the people that do go on maybe YouTube, or they go on maybe legacy media and talk about what's going on with price, they really have no clue either on it. A lot of them are trying to construct a narrative on exactly why things happen. But I can tell you pretty much every time the reason comes down to something like supply and demand.
It's a lot simpler.
Right?
There's more sellers than buyers.
Yeah, I wish I had some type of grandiose narrative that I could tell you guys on exactly what happened. But when prices go down, that usually mean there's some type of oversupply relative to the demand that's in the market. And when things go really skyrocket, there's huge demand compared to the supply that's out there. So for whatever reason, there was definitely a dump of supply. Maybe that was, maybe some hedge funds were selling some positions.
Right.
I know we were talking about last week the Bitcoin Cash fork. So maybe, and I know some mining pools that were involved in that, they might have been selling some Bitcoin to fund their the protection of their chain. And I would say probably
hashing power.
Moving hashing power over. But from our perspective, being in it every day, people are still using Bitcoin, right? We get RJ gets tickets every day all over the world, right? Our users are everywhere, from Turkey, Russia, South America, U.S., Australia, Iran, right? So long term, people are still using the network. Some of the reasons why people get into Bitcoin or crypto are still kind of in place, right? We have a lot of shitty fiat currencies in the world, and the U.S. dollar is probably the best house on an ugly block, right? So there's still a lot of long-term narrative things in play. A lot of governments haven't got their financial house in order. I don't see that reversing anytime soon. Right. And the people that have been building and will continue to build in crypto are doing it. So there's really no need to panic. It is concern when you see your
total portfolio.
Yeah, your total portfolio is at a certain level and it goes down. That definitely is concerning, but you have to keep in mind that this is a highly speculative relatively illiquid market that goes all over the place. And something that I've always told my friends and family is to slowly go into the market, right? And you should only be putting in money that is savings, maybe 3 to 5 years, especially in maybe just stick with Bitcoin if you don't really understand. I'm okay with speculating on other things, but know that you're gambling even more because Bitcoin is one of the older, more mature chains. Now there might be other things that overtake Bitcoin. We don't know that for sure, but it's Bitcoin possible. Definitely has the deepest, I guess, the deepest markets. The most mature chain's just been around a long time, and it's pretty simple in terms of its value proposition. So there's no panicking here at Edge. It's pretty humorous to watch online. People just going back and forth on why is crypto dead? And RJ, he's been at Edge since, when was it? 2014. And the price was around 1,000. Is that?
Yeah,
is that
just
right
after the first run up.
Yeah, and it crashed right after that. So we, as a company, we've built during bear markets, we've built during bull markets, and no matter what, we come to work and we're still building and doing our jobs, and we're kind of used to the volatility. But our long-term outlook hasn't changed. Nothing about the fundamentals has changed. The Bitcoin blockchain is still processing transactions pretty much every 10 minutes. The inflation schedule stayed the same. The double spend problem is still solved, right? So we still have a global currency that operates as it was intended to, and really all the volatility is around it with price. People look at the price and they see a number and they think that's like set in stone for whatever reason, and really it's just a negotiation between human beings or maybe algorithms that are trading. One person wants to sell it for this price, another wants to buy it for this price, and they come to some type of agreement. And right now it's so early in Bitcoin's life cycle that it's still hard to get what's the fundamental price? What are the fundamentals? People don't really have a model of exactly how to price it. And I don't have any magic formulas on my side either. But you could compare this. When equities first came out, or equities were first brought into the world and people's consciousness, there wasn't necessarily models ready to price those things. People had to get used to them. There had to be a lot of historical events that happened, and people generally came to a consensus on how to value those things. And it took a long process of trial and a lot of errors. Right. So Bitcoin will go through the same things. Eventually, we'll have in the next couple decades, a much more firm view on what the actual fundamentals are and what are kind of driving the market. But as of right now, it's just it's supply and demand. I mean, that's really all it comes down to. People, they're going to have their different theories on exactly what happened, but it takes some time to get into the details there, and it's not always so clear because not everything is public information.
Right, and even in that time, if you look at other key indicators, it's still growing. The infrastructure, there's new ATMs being made all over the world. There's still the main thing is the infrastructure is still growing despite more sales of Bitcoin than buys.
Yeah, like RJ says, we're kind of we get a good front seat of what's going on, especially from a business perspective. We're seeing new businesses form all the time, all around the world. New customers, new users coming in from all over the world, and it's money, so there's an infinite number of use cases for it. You can use it for whatever you want, right. And we haven't really seen a slowdown in that. We've just seen a relative big sell-off recently, and in the next couple of weeks it could go way up, and it also could go down, right? That's basically the consensus always for market commentators. It could go up and could go down, so that really doesn't help you. My advice to my friends and family has always been only put in money that you can save for 3 to 5 years, right?
Or you're willing to lose.
Or willing to lose, and everyone's financial situation is different. You know, if you need the money now, well, yeah, sell it, and if you don't need the money, then just hold on to it. You're fine. Nothing huge has happened, right? There's no like clear cause and effect to talk about.
Right.
So I guess that's it on the kind of price commentary.
Yeah.
Do we have another? We have a question coming up.
Another thing is Happy Thanksgiving. We hope you guys enjoyed it. But also let's touch base a little bit on Black Friday. So every year there's BitcoinBlackFriday.com. They kind of have like a little directory of all the websites out there that you can buy with discounts for Bitcoin. And if you kind of combine that with Purse.io, you can get a lot of discounts. So you look at the Black Friday discounts on top of the Purse discounts. So you end up saving a lot of money. So check that out also.
Yeah, I've used Purse a bunch of times to buy all types of gifts for family. Because I've been getting paid in Bitcoin for years, so I know where to go to get pretty much whatever I need. And Purse is a pretty good service, and you can get a lot of different goods for a good discount with Bitcoin. And I don't. Do they take anything else right now?
I think a Bitcoin Cash.
Bitcoin Cash. Yeah. Okay. Any other topics? Anyone asking questions?
Let's see. We can touch base a little bit about Bitcoin Cash fork that happened a while back. Brad and Paul touched base on this a little bit. So for one, they already mentioned it, but don't spend your Bitcoin Cash yet. There's no replay protection, but we'll have that in our next update. And not only that, but you'll also be able to split your coins so that just like during the Bitcoin Cash fork last year, if you had a Bitcoin wallet, you can tap on the split Bitcoin wallet and it'll create a duplicate wallet with your Bitcoin Cash on there. So same thing, but with SV. But for the time being, don't spend your Bitcoin Cash, or else it'll move it around since it doesn't have replay protection. So just a heads up there. And let's see. So how will it work exactly? So it's similar to how Bitcoin Cash worked last time. In the Bitcoin Wallets list screen, if you tap the 3 dots, there's a split wallet option, and you'll be able to see that next week once we get that update out.
Yeah, have you heard, are there a lot of people asking in the chats and stuff like that for Bitcoin SV? Yeah, they want to kind of cash out, get some money on that?
Yeah, you could do it sooner if you're a little bit more technical. You have your private seed. You can use that and kind of sweep the private keys individually. It's a little bit more technical, but you can do that. But if you can wait it out, you can also split it, and it'll automatically do it for you with an edge.
Yeah, the last couple weeks have been crazy with Bitcoin Cash. Kind of disappointed that they couldn't keep it together. I thought it would be good to have a kind of a competing chain with Bitcoin, but I definitely see there's definitely been damage done in terms of just their narrative and their chain and what they've been working on. We've definitely seen a big kind of battle of egos and battle of billionaires.
Right.
But it's not irreparable. It still has use. You can still send Bitcoin Cash anywhere in the world pretty cheaply. But we'll see how the community comes out of this. Maybe they come out stronger. And for people that don't know, it looks like Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin ABC, that implementation will keep Bitcoin Cash. They're still kind of fighting it out, but Bitcoin ABC seems like the pretty clear winner in a lot of ways, and that was the implementation we were running before the fork, and we supported it during, and we still support it. And maybe Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, I think they're pretty close to conceding, and I think they're really going forward with the Satoshi's vision, right? They're kind of conceding Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin ABC, and they're going with we're their old Bitcoin, all right? So they're going to have even bigger blocks, and they're bringing back some old opcodes that Satoshi had with the original code. Yeah, and they're kind of bringing that back. So, hey, who knows? I'm no expert on it. Maybe there is a market for Bitcoin SV. I personally don't think there is much of a future for it, but you never know. You never know with these things. I mean, there's things that are still around that we were talking about when we first came in this office, that they're still around and we don't really know why, right? People value's a funny thing. People value things in all different types of ways, and a lot of this is completely subjective. But over time, the cream will rise to the top, and I think a lot of the projects will get kind of swept away by the market.
Right.
Yeah.
There's one more thing. I remember Craig Wright making a thread that he would any special opco that kind of does a replay protection, it'll be given back to the miners, the SV coins. I think you and Paul touched base on that a little bit. Do you remember? Any updates with what Craig Wright said?
I don't.
Is he moving forward with that?
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
I know
He
makes a lot of threats.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of threats.
So he doesn't go all
and he was
out.
definitely trying to disrupt what Bitcoin ABC is trying to do. And,
Right.
Just general bullying tactics and
Craig Wright
not
being
making
Craig
it
Wright.
easy. Yeah, just Craig Wright being Craig Wright. But I think he's not necessarily, he's good for the system in the sense that he's an antagonist, so to speak. He definitely gets people going, gets the conversation going, and definitely challenges. He challenges the system, so to speak. So this is a good. Craig Wright might be a good test for Bitcoin Cash for sure. And it looks like they've gotten rid of him.
Right.
Let's see.
Okay. There are a few key updates. So with the Bitcoin Cash fork, we understand there may be some issues with Edge where it's not syncing properly or not detecting transactions, and that's because we have to update the servers, and that implementation will be out next week with our update. Hopefully everything goes well. So not to worry, your Bitcoin Cash is fine. It's just, it's not connecting or syncing properly. That should be addressed next week along with the split functionality. So looking forward to that.
Let's see.
Okay. What about things to preview, Brett? Anything that that we can say that we're looking forward to that we'll have before the end of this year or maybe next year that we can kind of tease our users with?
Yeah, we definitely have a top 10 coin coming in. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. EOS will be in the wallet, and this is definitely one of the more hyped and controversial projects out there. Lots of money, lots of I guess talent behind it. Dan Larimer has created. This is basically his third blockchain now, and he's also he pioneered the kind of graphene toolkit, which basically has been used by a lot of other blockchains, not only his but other ones have used some of his tools to build their own blockchains. And EOS is his kind of latest brainchild.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of money poured into it, a lot of hype about it.
Right.
And they're definitely different than traditional blockchains. Some critics think that they're not a blockchain at all, and kind of closer to a traditional database, which may or may not be true or necessarily relevant. But
we'll find out in time.
We'll find out in time. People that do own it, you're basically buying into the narrative that there's going to be a lot of demand for decentralized applications, that they're going to be built on EOS, and EOS has kind of solved some of the problems that other dApp platforms are dealing with,
right.
And also are going to be able to solve some of their internal problems that they're having. But as a wallet and security platform, we're offering up, I guess we're offering up the ability for users and investors that are interested in EOS and want to use it and believe in it to use it.
Right. And for those who aren't familiar, other projects that he's done is like BitShares and Steemit, so it probably rings a bell for you guys who have been in the cryptocurrency space for a while.
Yeah, I think Steemit is probably one of the more successful, dApp. I guess it would be one of the more successful blockchain projects that isn't just pure value transfer. So Bitcoin or Litecoin, it's money, right? And you can send it back and forth, but there's not necessarily a lot of utility beyond that. Which money itself is very useful, but Steam is actually a social platform that there is some use for it. People are on there posting stuff like that, and they've been fairly successful. So we'll see if EOS can not only build on that but expand, because the impetus behind EOS is being able to build something like Steam and thousands of other applications. Not, it doesn't have to be limited to just one decentralized application. It could be many.
Right.
And we'll see how they do. I'm no expert on it. And people that do buy it, they're gonna really reap the rewards if they're right.
Right.
But it is definitely beyond a speculative asset, right? You're definitely taking a lot of risk by holding it.
So I wonder, do you think he'll continue focusing on EOS, or do you think he'll have another blockchain?
I hope he does.
A third, fourth.
Yeah, I hope he does, because
right.
it can be, depending on how you look at it, can be disconcerting that he's gone from project to project, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, do you not believe in that project
instead
anymore?
Instead of just focusing on one.
But it also could, it could be one of those things where it's not a bug, it's a feature, right? Like, the guy is creative, he likes to work on new projects, and these networks are supposed to be able to work without any person or central authority or founder at the helm, right? So Satoshi moved on from Bitcoin. Dan Larimer has moved on from BitShares and Steam. I would like him to see EOS get built out, but maybe it gets to the point where they don't need him anymore, and he can work on another project. Which he's his own man, and he's doing what he wants to do, and I wish them luck.
Gotcha.
Any other questions?
Let's see. We're probably still busy just celebrating the holidays.
Yeah, what'd you do for Thanksgiving?
Just had a turkey and ham. Lots of good food. What about you?
We actually didn't have turkey because we were kind of bearish on turkey. Okay. We just don't think it's that great. Yeah. So me and my brother, we just got chicken and steak, and we did some mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and green beans. But we kind of, we went a little contrarian. We didn't go with the flow with just going full turkey. We think it's a little overrated as a meat. Right. But yeah, I like it, but I'd rather have steak, honestly. And you can really have it in it. We didn't have a big Thanksgiving. It was just me and my brother.
A lot of Bitcoin topics for Thanksgiving. Because compared to last year,
I talked to
run up, right?
I talked to my family, and I never pressured anyone into crypto. I think I'm pretty boring about it in the sense that I never give different advice than I have been for the last couple of years.
Right.
Like, if you want to, this is what I'm doing. I get paid in Bitcoin, right? That's where I save in Bitcoin. I have been doing it for years, and I take the volatility, but I also, what is it called? I save in it in the sense that I look at it as 3 to 5 to 10 year.
Yeah, a longer play.
Right. I have fiat funds that are always kind of ready to go for bills or just general hedging, and not putting literally everything in crypto, but most of my holdings are in crypto. Right. And I always tell friends and family, look, you save in Bitcoin every paycheck. Maybe that's $50 for you, $25, $100 that you can afford to save for 3 to 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And you just do that over time, and we'll see where you're at. And, I've been doing that over time, and I feel pretty good about it. And people that have listened to me feel pretty good about it. Some people that, especially during the run up in 2017, they might have bought and, then they might have sold in this last bear market, which, if they did buy at that time, which I don't think is necessarily wrong, because you don't really know when these things are going to top out, but if you were buying at that time, you should be buying at this time. Now, if you have the the same, because the same outlook, the same
Yeah,
game is still
fundamentally changed.
nothing fundamentally has changed, right? It's just gotten cheaper, and your savings that you had before have now on paper gone down. But if that money was 3 to 5 to 10 year money, you don't really care.
Yeah.
Like it does hurt when you look at the screen, but if you have the right perspective, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I agree with Brett. Like when I talk to friends at family, I kind of just show them the door. They have to walk through it, kind of thing. So it's it's not my fault if it goes all the way down, but at the same time, if it goes up, I at least showed you a little bit what Bitcoin was about.
Yeah, I've never. You should never at any point go, I have all this money, I'm going to put it all into Bitcoin right now, right? You just can't do that with something as volatile and new as Bitcoin. It's something that you need to kind of move into gradually, and there's going to be ups and downs, right? And that's just part of the game right now. Right? It's a speculative asset. People don't really know how to price it. They don't know exactly where it fits in. What is it? What is it like? Do you even need it? Who's using it? All kind of big questions. But like RJ said, the fundamentals are still in place. I'm still earning Bitcoin, right? So this last pay cycle, we get more bits, which is fine. And my Bitcoin balance goes up, which in my view, as a younger guy, right, the game that I'm playing is accumulating more bits. Other people are playing accumulate the more dollars game. I'm playing a different game. RJ's playing a different game.
Right.
And we've been playing this game for a couple years now, and we're at Edge. We come in and we do our job, and it's just part of the system.
Yep. Let's go ahead and talk about the next events. So we'll be at BitConf in Chile and Cleveland, and next year the North American Bitcoin Conference in Miami. So we went last year. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Back to my homeland. I am the in-house Florida man at Edge.
Right.
And I like going back to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, see friends and family. And the event is always really well done, put on by Mo.
Right.
That'll be in January, but the event that we'll be at next will be Latin American Bitcoin Conference, which he's been to before. I think just Paul, our CEO, will be going. Yeah. So let us know if you're going. We always like to meet up with other users or people in the industry that are going to be there. And then I think Paul will also be speaking at Cleveland. Was it Cleveland Blockland? Yeah. Some type of blockchain event in Cleveland. And what would you say about Anarchapulco?
I think we might be there. Maybe that's usually next February. Still a maybe though, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I think that's it. That's it for today.
Yeah.
Nothing else crazy has happened.
Say hi to William, our chief engineer.
There's our chief architect. He makes. Anyways, I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
So we're going to sign off. Let's see. We'll get RJ in there. Sorry. So we're going to sign off for today, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.